Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, 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 guys. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, guys. Welcome, 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 welcome. Oh, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, oh my God. Oh my God. Whoa, that is a lot. That's too much. That's a lot. Oh my God. Oh shit. Oh my God. Iran is getting it. Oh. Oh shit. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Shit. Oh my God. This is crazy. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's a hit. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh shit. Oh my God.
the Iranian side, and some of those offers have been made from those regional neighbors who think that, any instability in the region will not benefit them and will be detrimental to all, not just Iran, as well as those engaged in the conflict. So that's why I think different parties also in the region are trying to make sure that the situation could somehow be back to normal or in control, and something, it will not expand into a full-scale war.
And what about the people of Iran, Abbas? How are they reacting to this extraordinary escalation? Many people there would never have seen strikes over Iran like this. Certainly the younger generation who wouldn't have been aware of the Iran-Iraq war of the 80s.
One thing is that an external threat or attack could make the people rally around the flag. We have been seeing different people, even those who have been critical of the government and the establishment, they have been calling for national unity against an external threat. But in the meantime, some have been, thinking what could be the future of this conflict. There are uncertainties, and they have been asking that how things will evolve in the coming days or weeks. But in the meantime, it is not a, let's say, sense of horror in the country. Sometimes when people see that air defense is operating in the sky of Tehran, I have been seeing people, standing on the street, filming what is happening in the sky, and they have been trying to go outside and to see what is happening. So I think it's a mixture of, sometimes, curiosity, or for some people, a fear of what will happen. But what is much more visible these days in the country is that many people have been trying to call for unity against this threat. From reformists to conservatives, even for those who do not support either of those factions, and they also are critical of the establishment or the government, but they have been calling for that unity against, external threat, specifically the one coming from the Israeli side.
Okay, that's Abbas Aslani joining us on the phone there from Tehran. Abbas, many thanks indeed for bringing us your insights into the situation there in Iran. Hello there, I'm Laura Kyle. It's just gone 21 GMT and you're watching Al Jazeera. Our focus this hour remains the most intense fighting between Israel and Iran in decades. A new wave of Iranian missiles has been launched towards Israel as Tehran promises heavy and destructive attacks against Israel. The projectiles have been seen over the skies of Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, Haifa and other cities. At least 3 Israelis have been killed in a previous wave of Iranian missile attacks launched in retaliation for Israel's large-scale strikes across Iran. In the latest strikes by Iran, at least 1 projectile made impact in Haifa, where a fire has broken out at a strategic facility. Another missile has landed in the city of Tamra. At least 1 Israeli has been killed and 3 others injured when a missile fell in northern Israel. Let's bring in Bernard Smith in the Jordanian capital, Amman. He's reporting from there because the Israeli government has banned Al Jazeera from reporting inside Israel and the occupied West Bank. And Bernard, you're in a good position to actually see what is happening tonight in the skies over Jordan and indeed over Israel. We now understand that a few of those missiles that we saw, many of them being intercepted over Amman, but a few of them did make impact in Israel.
Yeah, we had the first siren warning of the sign the Jordanians used to warn of an incursion into Jordanian airspace about an hour ago, and we saw just a couple of minutes after that the traces from the ballistic missiles heading over Amman and towards Israel, which is just beyond the horizon behind me there. Now, the Israelis are saying that they have had reports of civilians of explosions in northern Israel, but no confirmation yet of impact or casualties. In the last couple of minutes, just before you came to me, we had an all-clear siren from the Jordanians and an announcement that there was no further incursion in their airspace at the moment. And also, we know about 10 minutes ago, the Israeli military said that the public is now permitted to leave protected spaces in all areas across Israel. So for the moment, this current wave of missiles launched from Iran appears to be over, or certainly that is what the Israelis seem to think, and there's certainly nothing happening in Jordanian airspace for the moment. We will wait to hear later on in the evening what impact those missiles have had. Of course, as with the first wave, Israel said that many of the missiles were destroyed or intercepted by Israel's air defense system, the Iron Dome. Some of them penetrated, as we've seen from the destruction in civilian areas. We don't know, because of military censorship. Israel is under military censorship, as would most countries at war be under military censorship, so you're not allowed to report whether any missiles might have hit sensitive military installations. Israeli media isn't allowed to report that, and there's no indication, or we're not hearing of any military sites have been hit, simply because that information is not allowed out.
And Bernard, we were hearing from Uri Goldberg, who was himself in a shelter, actually just coming out of a shelter when we spoke to him, and he was saying that there's a very complicated system of alerts in Israel, and it's leaving a lot of mistrust amongst the Israelis for the military, for the police, for the alert system, and that people are going into survival mode, where they're really taking matters of survival into their own hands.
Well, we know that Israelis have been stocking up in supermarkets, that Israelis are certainly concerned and worried about what's happening. They put a lot of reliance in Israel on that Iron Dome. It is generally very effective at protecting Israel, but some missiles get through, and obviously when such a large volume of missiles are launched, the system isn't able to protect everything. So Ori is reflecting there a concern from Israelis that what they're experiencing this time is really a step into the unknown. Yes, there was the attack on October 7th, but that was on one day, concentrated in that part of Israel around Gaza. This is something totally different. Israel attacked from the air, from far, missiles getting through, and it appears putting at risk population centers across Israel. Israel's foreign minister has already accused the Iranians of attacking civilian areas, civilian buildings, and saying in doing so Iran has crossed a red line.
Okay, that's Bernard Smith bringing us the latest there from Amman, monitoring the situation also in Israel. Many thanks, Bernard. Well, a few hours before these latest Iranian missile strikes, Israel targeted some of Iran's critical energy infrastructure. The Israeli military says it intends to expand its targeting of that infrastructure if Iran launches more missiles at its territory. An Israeli drone strike hit a gas refinery in Iran's Kangam port. That serves the South Pars gas field, which is the world's largest. Authorities now say they've been forced to halt some of the gas production there. Well, let's bring in Tawhid Asadi. He is joining us now from Tehran. And Tawhid, since we last spoke, we have been seeing Iran reporting another attack on the Shahran oil depot in Tehran. What more can you tell us about that?
Well, I can say that it happened, but specifically when it comes to details, so far we don't have that much of information. We saw the smoke coming out of the scene. It was said that the sort of oil storage center was targeted, but still the extent of damage is not that much. So it might be a superficial targeting of that place. But a few seconds ago, before I start this segment, we saw Iranian air defense system being activated here in the capital, and just behind me, I was seeing the interception of flying objects by this air defense system. Sounds of explosion were heard a few seconds ago, and it seems that escalation is getting high and high as we heard about Iranian missile attacks to the Israeli territories, and as we know that from yesterday up until the moment, we are observing a continuation of Israeli strikes on